All right. Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, gamers. I have recently played the Diablo 4 beta, and now I'm here to give everyone my much wanted, much requested, and much needed opinion of it. So, first, I'd like to go over my personal history with the Diablo franchise. So, as far as I can remember, as far back as I know, I've heard the name Diablo 2. And I've heard Diablo 2 sucked off to the high heavens. I heard it was a really, really good game. Now, after that, 3 came out. And it wasn't as good that I heard, but it was still good. As what happens with games as they go on in the franchise. They don't get as good as their predecessors, but they're still okay. Now, I never ended up playing 2, but I actually did end up getting 3. Now, I got 3 way after all the hype died for it, way after its life cycle. I got 3 basically at the bare ass end of it about a year ago. And I played the Necromancer in 3, and while I like games about loot, I like looters, I like Destiny and stuff, I think Borderlands is okay. You would think I like Diablo because of this, but the main off putting factor to me with Diablo, which ended up to me not liking it, was the difficulty. It was too fucking easy. Now, that may have something to do with me picking the Necromancer and me playing the Necromancer as the first time thing I ever played in a Diablo game ever. And, if you know Necromancer, they just summon armies that do their bidding for them and they kill everything on the screen. Now, unfortunately, with my limited time and even more limited patience, I didn't stick out the whole game to wait until stuff gets harder because it was too long and the gameplay was just too boring. I just couldn't get through it. It was like literal baby mode. Now, like I said before, people might say, you played Necromancer and you did that wrong. Like, you played the game wrong for playing Necromancer because at that point you're not playing the game, it's too easy. But to me, that argument is bullshit because the game is about classes and picking your favorite fantasy. And my favorite fantasy is summoning an army to do my bidding. Now, granted, in some games they do it well, like, real time strategy games, but that's the fantasy that I like. And it's a fantasy that's in the game. And it's made to be used. So if playing the thing that was made to be used in the game makes playing the game not good, then that's just not good game design. Overall, that just makes the games worse. Thanks, Blizzard. Usually what happens. But anyway, I would say in Diablo, for the first run through, at least from what I saw in Diablo 3, we're not even up to Diablo 4 yet, it's very similar to Warframe, where your character feels overpowered. But to me, the gameplay, like I said, it just wasn't fun. It didn't feel rewarding because there was literally no challenge. I was sitting there, I didn't even have to move. I can AFK and my Necromancer minions would kill everything. But anyway, that's my experience with Diablo 3. And in general, I'm not really counting anything else Diablo-esque, aka the mobile game, even though I didn't play that, but mostly Heroes of the Storm. I don't think anyone would count that as me interacting with Diablo. So it's pretty much just 3. That's my whole history with Diablo here. Now, one thing I will have to say straight away that's in Diablo 4, it was in Diablo 3, and just going with the consensus here, it was probably in Diablo 2 as well, and that's that they lock away harder difficulties until after you beat the game. Now, I know back in the day, a couple games have done this before, where once you beat the game, you unlock, like, nightmare difficulty, where you literally have to spend hours sitting behind a rock just to kill one enemy, and then you gotta be careful because one bullet will kill you, or a grenade 5 miles away will somehow still kill you anyway. So, I understand some games you have to unlock an ultra difficulty, but in Diablo, it's ridiculous. In Diablo, it's like you only have easy and normal unlocked. And to play anything beyond hard, you have to get through the entire campaign. It's like you're a game reporter and they think you're not good at the game, so they're making it ridiculously easy. And I've always not understood this. I know Fire Emblem used to do this too, but Fire Emblem actually gives you, with the newest one, Fire Emblem, I forgot what it's called. It's not Fates, but the new one where you have the wedding rings. I know in that one, they basically gave you the difficulty you traditionally unlock after you beat the game in the beginning. And I don't understand why this isn't a commonplace thing. I don't understand why I can't have fun with Diablo while giving myself a challenge. Now, granted, I never got far in 3 to where it gets difficult. I'm assuming it's after the game because I did get pretty deep in Diablo. And obviously in 4, they only gave us the beta, so there's not much I could do there. But anyway, the difficulty aside, and my little pet peeve with that, even though I'm not a big fan of the gameplay, especially the difficulty in Diablo, I pretty much really like everything else. Everything else in the game is rock solid. The aesthetic of Diablo, the lore, the music, basically everything else is up to par for me. Now, how's it specifically in Diablo 4? Because I'm just talking about Diablo in general. It's pretty much how I just described it. I played Diablo 4 for about 2 days. And those were the 2 days that I could play it for the free open beta, because I'm not buying early beta access because we don't have money like that. I reached the level cap too. In the 2 days I played, I was able to reach the level cap on the one character. Now, while I can't really compare it to the other games for lack of number one, remembering, and number two, really playing them that much, I'll say this. This one graphically looks visually amazing. Now, it might come as a surprise to some people, but I chose the Necromancer class again. And the first thing that I was astounded by, aside from the beautifulness that I made my character, because goddamn I made her hot, was the fact that when I zoomed in, I can literally see in the character creator, I could see these sweat lines running down her beautiful, sexy face and her toned, hot stomach. I can literally see the lines of sweat on them. Like, oh my god. I was shocked that you could see this because this is a top down game where you're not necessarily going to be really seeing this stuff. In fact, you're only really going to be seeing it in the character creator, in the wardrobe, or if you're in town and you zoom really far in and you look really closely. And even then, it's going to be hard to see, but I'm surprised they actually put that much detail in. The hair does look a little bit wonky, and the graphics, for the hair aren't too good, but in terms of everything else, they look fucking great. Like, honestly, they look really good. Again, I can't really compare it to other Diablos. I don't remember how good Diablo 3 looked, but Diablo 4 looking hella nice. Now, the aesthetic is something else I have to talk about. I enjoyed all the blood, gore, and dismemberment, and all the bodies of, the humans and the demons that are tortured everywhere littered around. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, it's crazy again, just talking about the environment, how much minute detail they put into it. Because again, this is a top-down game where most of the time you're not going to be going that close in with the camera to look at stuff, and it's not that big a deal to have it be that detailed, but it is. I swear to God, one time I was in a dungeon, right? I looked at like a tortured woman's body because I just saw it like on a pike next to me, and I killed all the enemies. I zoomed in, I looked at her body, and I swear to God, she was naked and I could see her bare tits. Now, I don't know if that was actually what I was seeing because there was blood everywhere, but oh my God, it impressed me how much and how well it looked that, it was just really good. It was just really good. Now, the colors within the game and the environments also impressed me a lot. Even though they only give you access to the first area, I remember I was in one of the towns and I just stopped there and I looked at the color scheme. It's a lot of dark colors, but it's mixed in with vibrant colors as well. The lighting is great. It's very dark, but not like dark as in like you can't see, dark as in like the lights and colors stand out. I really like it. There's like a very nice glow to it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I actually just stood there and I just looked at it. And I didn't know the last time I really did that in the game where I just stopped and enjoyed the environment in the town. I really, really liked the atmosphere and the setting that the lighting did. I think the lighting is really, really good too. So that's basically another stroking of the cock on the visual side. In terms of the music, I would say it's pretty good. There's not much I can really say here. I mean, I took music theory in college, but I don't remember it. So I would just say the music is pretty good. And that's what it is. Now let's get on to the lore. So the lore in Diablo is pretty cool. I'm gonna be including some light spoilers here for the previous Diablos, maybe, and some light spoilers here for Diablo 4 that I played. But basically, they give you all of Act 1 from what I heard. Now, it's important that you hear what I said there. I said what I heard, because despite reaching the level cap in the 2 days I was allowed to play, I didn't get far in the story at all. What I experienced was pretty good and cool, though. And again, like I said, I'm going to include very light spoilers, so be warned. Now, obviously, this whole story is centered around Lilith, who's now entered Sanctuary, which is the world we go in, and she's causing havoc. And, there's obviously the eternal conflict between the high heavens and hells. Now, the thing I like most that's done, just in general, but also in Diablo, is when they go off the beaten path. You get away from the norm. I really like when that happens. Now, in the Diablo series, we obviously fight the titular villain, Diablo. And obviously there's the other primevals and, lesser demons and stuff, but they're mini bosses, so who cares? They're obviously the evil side. They're not good. Now, the angels and the high heavens, even though they're not always so good either, at least to mankind, they're generally in the framework of they're the good guys. So there's good and there's bad. There's the angels and there's the demons. And that's what it is. That's what you're getting for the most part. Now, I like when inversions occur. So the inversion that first occurred that really, really got me interested in Diablo was, ironically enough, through Heroes of the Storm that I found it out. And it was that the angel, the good guy, Malthiel, became evil because he was sick of good fighting evil forever. And he was like, all right, something has to be done. This can't go on forever. I'm sick of this shit. He was good and he became bad, but not for a bad reason. Now, in Diablo 4, there's a similar case to be made here. Lilith is obviously of demonic nature, as you can see with her. She has to do with the demons. She uses demons. Demons come around her. She commands demons. People turn into demons, obviously, when she's around. But the game very much tells you early on, she is not for the demonic side. Even though she has demons with her, she's not fighting for the demonic side. She's not for the primevals. It basically poses her as the mother of humanity who's here for the people. So the angels, some of them went over to the people side eventually with Tyrael. And the demons, they pretty much just want to prey on the people. But Lilith is the exception here. Lilith is the inversion. She wants to help the people, and she is there, as they call her, the Great Mother. She wants to teach them that sin, which is natural to people, everyone has sin, it should be embraced and not shunned, which is really cool to me. It almost posed her as a sort of force for good. You're not really sure, and obviously I didn't get too far in the story, so I don't even know if they even touch upon it in Act 1. But, you're not sure if she's really a bad guy, even though she's doing questionable things with the demons. Like, she's making people kill each other who are not submitting to her, but at the end of the day, she does seem to keep saying that, hey, she's for the people. Now, who knows if it's some, Full Metal Alchemist shit where eventually she just, sacrifices them for something. But who knows? I just think it's really cool. And obviously, they have angels in here still, specifically Inarius, who some people love and some people hate. And by some people, I mean the people in the game, not people in real life. Now, it's pretty much what we expect, and they better deliver with the lore. But the lore is honestly pretty good, and the world feels real. I'll say that. Because there's two sides of Lilith and Inarius, and there's actually people in the world that both love them and hate them. There's, humans that love and hate Lilith, and then there's humans that love and hate Inarius. And I think that's honestly realistic, and it being realistic just adds more to the world. I think they did a really good job with the lore. But again, Diablo's a sort of a lore game in my mind, so they have to make the lore good. At least that's what I think. I'm not too sure. But anyway, here's where we get into the specifics. So, obviously, I mentioned on this a little bit before, but I play Necromancer. Necromancer was really easy. It was really fucking easy. It wasn't as easy as Diablo 3. I did play on the hardest difficulty I could, which basically was normal in my eyes. There's only two times I can count on my hand that I actually struggled, and I was even playing with people and I struggled. One of them was when I was fighting the Butcher, and another one was when I was doing a world boss that was way higher level than me, but I don't count that one because it was way higher level. But when I was fighting the Butcher, from Heroes of the Storm, he actually almost wiped our entire party. I think if I was alone, I would have had a lot of trouble with him, and I honestly don't know if I could have beat him. But aside from that one instance, Necromancer's pretty easy. I could help out, and obviously there were times where like me using spells and stuff did help. I didn't feel like it was too crazy though, and I did see how the other classes played. They didn't seem as effective at some things. Necro kind of just stomped all over stuff, but again, I didn't play too far into the story, and I got to level cap, but I didn't really explore that much. But from what I played, Necro was pretty fucking easy, and I imagine going through the whole game, it would be pretty easy to. So, same old shit. Now, even though it was a beta, and even though I haven't played too much of the other Diablos, another big issue that I saw is I didn't understand how this was that different from any of the other games in the Diablo series. Now, again, this comes with a big asterisk of I'm not too familiar with everything, but again, I did play 3 a good decent amount. I would say over halfway through. And I would say, aside from general improvements that can happen to any game, with graphics and music, because those can always improve, the gameplay doesn't really seem to have any sweeping innovations or big changes. Not that it necessarily needed it, but it's almost sort of the expectation with the industry nowadays. It honestly just feels like a continuation of Diablo they made with more content with the formula that's tried and true, and they just updated it for modern times. They just added like a new content drop, but it's still Diablo. Now, this is not what I'm personally too sure of, like I said, because I'm not too familiar with the genre or the series. Where, again, I don't know if innovation is really cared about. I don't know if it's needed. Maybe people just like the story or they just want to play a new Diablo with updated graphics and music. I don't know. But I would personally assume that you would want at least a little bit of both, right? A little bit of, just updated content drop, but also a little bit of innovation. And as far as I saw, there wasn't any. There was, I mean, there's a new story, which is good, but there was no gameplay updates. It honestly just felt like Diablo. Sure, it's new, but who really cares, right? I mean, overall, this pretty much sums up my statement of the beta. It's a modern, up to date Diablo game, and it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's good. It's a good game, right? Nothing really crazy changed about it, though, and it's just more of what you know if you know Diablo. If you like Diablo, then you're probably going to like this from what I think. If you're not a hardcore Diablo fan and don't know, what you're getting into, it's probably going to be fun. But if you don't like Diablo, you're probably not going to like this game. There's not really too much different in it. Now, it's fun to play with friends, which is what I did. Now, because it's a beta, there's a big fair share of visual bugs and there's crashes. Literally, one of my friends, whenever he would try and TP to us, which saved a lot of time rather than running to us, his game would crash. He was not allowed to TP to us. A bunch of visual glitches, a bunch of stuff bugging out, crashes, like I said, but it's a beta, so I'm not going to hold it too hard against them because, obviously Blizzard is an indie company. They deserve the benefit of the doubt. But overall, again, like I said, it was nothing crazy. If you like it, you like it. If you never tried it before, I think it's a pretty good try. And if you're expecting anything crazy to bring you back if you hated it, I think you're going to be disappointed. But overall, that's pretty much my opinions on Diablo 4 beta. If I had to rate it, I would rate it probably a 7.5 out of 10. It's a decent game. Nothing new, nothing crazy. You like it, like I said. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's my opinions of the Diablo 4 beta. I hope everyone enjoyed. And I stream every day, and I streamed me entirely playing it over the 2 days at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel. So you can come over there and watch me play and hang out with me and have fun. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed, and that's going to be it from me.